And
Hold up.
Recruit wins here.
I'm checking.
Red Hawk beats Jerry Lawler.
We're alive! Woo!
And Nick
We're
Boston
alive for the first time in forever.
Hello.
I'm just gonna post it on my Facebook thing real quick that
Alright.
I'm live, and then also post the I'm not gonna add everyone. That's just cringe.
Don't add everyone. Just
you add everyone.
Not recently.
Well,
I don't add everyone. I don't add everyone for my streams. I just say, I add everyone when there's an announcement that needs to be made.
Solid.
Oh, Danny left.
Danny, you knew this was happening. Why have you abandoned us again?
He done it. Probably just like an internet outage or some shit. Honestly. Recruiting Hulk Hogan. All right, and I'll just tab over to the other tab real quick. Hey, do you want me to like stream my end to Discord too?
If you want to stream to your end, that would help, but is not necessary. And we are starting a little early, by the way. We are gonna wait for a couple people to join in first.
Yeah, no.
Because there's a potential that there will be other people joining in. I'm gonna message some people and potentially at everyone.
Don't add everyone. Just like at the people who would, or just actually no, just DM the people who said they wanted to join in. Like,
well, that's so, like, just it. I do kind of want to see. Yeah, I'm just gonna
maybe just see whoever joins in.
Yeah. Usually from
but there's a lot of people that don't actually look at the server.
Oh jeez, I wonder why.
Alright, now simmer down, stress free. I've had a long day. I just want to stream.
Long day at work?
I did not have work. There are other reasons, but I don't want to get into it.
I can respect that.
I don't know if James would join on because he's I think he's at a friend's party. Once I look at your stream list, I'll post my console tier list in the. Well, where do you want me to post? Do you want to post in the general, or where do you want me to post it?
I'd say just post it in a voice chat. Just.
I was gonna put my thing in general.
Yeah, no, you put your thing in general and just put yours in a voice chat.
Does it? I'm confused. So everyone else is gonna put theirs in voice chat. I mean, okay. I mean. I'm just confused.
Like just post it anywhere, but I'm just saying voice chat because we're on the voice chat and that's kind of what that's for.
Fair enough.
I know who wanted to contribute.
Are we the only 3 people that are with the actually taking the console list seriously?
Man, my best friend is really, really hell-bent on wanting to make a potato calendar. So how do I look at everything? Anybody want to log onto YouTube real quick and see how I'm doing? How I look?
Oh. Sure, just give out your YouTube URL real quick.
Oh, I already did. It's in general.
Oh, okay, I see it. Actually, I'm going to mute your stream because I hear you over the microphone, but you have the... You have the root beer.
How do I look? How's everything look? Good? Is there anything in the background that shouldn't be in the background?
I mean, I guess there's like your bed and some papers, but not
Okay, we're
not
fine
really.
then.
No.
We're fine
All
then.
right.
We're fine then.
All right. Just gonna reset up my chair.
When do we want to start doing this? Do we want to wait until everybody
okay.
joins? I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'd say we should wait like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say
Alright.
wait till like
Alright.
not till
Okay.
5 after, unless we have like
Sorry, I
5
can't-
people
I
in, and
can't, I can't watch your YouTube stream. It's like it'll be on the Discord chat.
Then don't.
then just watch my end. Just watch my end.
Actually, I will. You know what? Let's see if my computer's feeling up for it.
Or it's just mostly because it's like I'm hearing like 2 things on the YouTube stream.
There we
But,
go. You
okay,
can
that's
watch
better.
that instead on
Yeah,
Discord.
because that is like confusing because on the YouTube stream.
No. I get it. I only asked to. I didn't ask for you to listen to it. I just asked, hey, how do I look? Because new lighting. I'm proud of it.
I'm going to intentionally put the frame rate down at 15.
Oh, mine's a full fat
No.
60, my guy.
I don't. This is a.
I'm just
This is a-
praying to the gods that my computer doesn't
Okay.
flake out and
Okay.
crash.
Because
Because every time I pushed it this hard, BAM! It just slammed. It just suddenly turns off for some reason. It just browns out.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm putting mine on 15. This is a relatively new computer. I don't want to sacrifice it yet to.
Yeah. You know, my biggest thing is my gripe is like, Justin, how long did it take you to create the belt tier list?
The
We
what?
didn't.
Oh,
Here's
the title
belt.
belt tier list.
the belt title belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took an hour
Damn.
because like you think, oh hey, this is gonna be a nice thing where I just analyze the belts, but then you have some of the belts that aren't cropped properly. You have some. It's like there's like 3 instances of belts that you can't fully see.
And apparently, it's gonna go back to TV14 soon.
Oh yeah, no, that's that's the break glass button.
Are we keeping it stock? Or do we want to add a 6th, like, track? Actually, everything on this list. Let's go over some,
I think-
like, basics right here, right now. Some
Yeah,
of
sure.
these shouldn't be
Go ahead.
on here. For
Go
example,
ahead.
we are not doing variants. Anything that's listed as a variant, just go with the first one, okay? Just go with the first gen.
Yeah, but hear me out. Like some of these are different enough. Like the DSi is different enough to the DS.
What if
Yes,
we-
but
what
not
if
the
we-
Wii Mini.
No, we're not including the Wii Mini. Fuck the Wii Mini. That's like not.
What?
Or the PlayStation 3, or Genesis Gen 2, or Gen 3. No. We're just
wait.
doing the platforms themselves.
Wait, why? No PSP Go then?
No PSP Go.
Okay, well, we're gonna even do handhelds anyway. The only one we agreed on is like. the
I
first
think
one.
it's okay if we do handhelds, just simply
We
because
might as
it's
well do
Spice thing.
handhelds.
We might as well do Spice, and if we do gaming computer, I will say it's for Windows gaming only. Because
This
everybody
is
knows that
awesome.
Linux and Mac is already shit tier. Let's just acknowledge that. Any Linux and Mac user who is man enough to admit it will admit it, including me. And I have a Mac and a Linux machine.
I just like to point out that the sole reason I want to do handhelds is so I can rip on the N-Gage.
I like Linux.
It's
We
not
all
good.
like Linux, but it's not good for gaming. Oh, we're gonna get to that in a little bit because the Steam Deck, believe it or not, it's on here, and that's the Linux ambassador. So,
It's all the way at the end though. So like, do you want to do it like one by one? Because I kind of have just 2 that I know offhand set up.
Well,
Oya
what-
and the Oya moment. And
no. We're gonna start at the
Fine.
top and work our way. We're gonna start at Atari Pong and do it book style. All right?
I would
Also, where's the F tier?
You can make one. if
Do
you
we want to make an F tier? Do we want to make an F tier?
Yeah.
I'll make an F tier.
Yeah, you make an F. I already have an F tier and a tier just specifically for the Oya. And I will defend Oya being worse than some of this shit. Than all this shit, but like,
There we go.
Actually,
I
I'll
included an
put
F tier. Some of these are just computers. Some of these are just straight up computers, but I'm okay with that kind of. The only
Alright,
thing
so,
that
yeah.
I'm sad is not in here is the Apple Pippin.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that was the Mac. Because that's the Mac ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just sort of just
I
assume
feel-
that
I feel-
the Mac console's F tier and go with that.
Bro,
Sure.
I feel the. What was I gonna say? Forget the Pippin. I don't think no one has ever played the Pippin.
I have.
He has, and he owns all 3 that exist.
No, that's the Astrocade.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Which, funnily enough, is not on here either.
Yeah, but like the Astro Cage is gonna be used
Any
actually
system
with
that
the Astro
isn't
Cage.
listed is going to be so obscure that it's not going to matter.
Yeah. Plus, this one at least has like names on them and shit.
I will say that the first 3 are basically one and the same.
I mean, the Magnavox is kind of the first like.
It is.
multiple-
I think it is. It is. The Magnavox is, and I will rank the Atari Pong and Magnavox Odyssey separate. I will
Alright,
not be
so-
ranking the Coleco Telstar because that is just an Atari Pong clone.
Okay. I'll just put it in the same tier then, I guess.
All right. Do we
Danny,
want
do
to
you
get
just-
started? Do we want to get started then?
Wait, Danny, do you have it open? You can do this.
Hilmer
So-
said he was going to be on, and he is AFKAF.
Hey,
Like, hardcore. Like, he's not even logged into Facebook. I'm going to fucking message him on
Yeah.
Facebook and remind him, hey, you said you were going to join in. Did you remember or just completely forget and drop out?
I'm making my own list, so I'm watching you.
making your own list? Okay, yeah. Now you
I
can
got mine,
join in
like,
and
I'm gonna-
fight. You can fight these with us then.
Like I'll post mine like because then I have to go on my laptop and like do it because I usually come on Discord on my phone.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. Like, do it on your laptop and just sort of have, like, your phone there. Unless you want to just log into Discord on your laptop, because I've seen that work.
No, I have. Let's see. Not sure. Which is link. How long are, Nemeth, how long are you planning on streaming for?
I mean,
Don't
well,
know.
depending on these, some of these are just going to be, like... I know, like, the PS3 is going to be a long debate. But, like, some shit like Pong is just probably going to be like, hey, you want to put that in C tier or some shit?
Yeah, there will be some I will fight to the bitter end. And
Yeah,
there will
I
be
know.
others where we're going to be pretty much in a universal agreement.
Yeah, I'm already expecting, like, 1 or 2...
Like
that are gonna
Hilmer
be-
said, I'm really hyped for this. I can't wait to join in tomorrow. This is going to be fun. And, like, he's mentioned that repeatedly, and he's just AFK as fuck.
I don't know.
Watch,
expect
he's
more.
going to join, like, at midnight and be like, hey, are you guys still streaming? I'm ready for the tier list. I'm like, dude, that was 3 hours ago. We tagged you, like, 5 times. Fuck!
All right. Oh,
I literally
actually,
just...
I'll wa-
I literally just went on a tirade about this yesterday. Oh well.
People, have you considered that Prairie people had other games or other stuff they do on a weekend night?
Have you considered that Hilmer said like 5 times he was looking forward to the stream and can't wait to join?
Ironically enough, I'm the one who would have had issues, and besides you, I'm the only one that's shown up so far.
I'm making so I'm on my lap. I'm gonna like type in the link, and I'm probably just gonna make it, and then probably either tonight or tomorrow morning I'll probably post it on the Discord, my tier list.
Just make it as we go along, and like if you get tired, then just keep it open.
Yeah, I will go for 5. We'll wait 5 more minutes and then I'll start ranking.
I mean, we're just gonna start with the early system, so it's not really gonna get like, I guess, key until we start getting into, I guess, the 2700.
Good.
So we
Oh,
can
the
start
question-
with these.
Now the question is, what?
What's the question?
No, I'm just thinking what another subject that this group can do good on a tier list besides game consoles.
I mean, I have a few ideas in mind, but I want to cross that bridge when we get there. And who knows? If there's a large enough request to say, hey, I missed out on the console tier list, I want to redo it, or I want there to be a better one. You know, if there's a large enough demand for it, I will do a better tier list than this one, because this one's kind of shit. That's like an actual proper one. Or maybe we'll do something a little bit more lighthearted, like, I don't know, like, we'll think of something. We'll do other tier lists in the future.
Apple tier list. That's not like Apple products. It's like actual Apple.
Well,
I wouldn't object to making an Apple product tier list, just to be clear. I own quite a few of them.
No, I mean.
But
like,
I'd be the only one
food.
that could do. We're not
Right.
doing that. We're not doing that.
You wanted a lighthearted one.
it has to be something that everyone can at least have a knowledge about. Because honestly, I can make a tier list about heavy metal bands, but probably.
The
only
issue is,
myself-
what's heavy metal? That's the problem.
Ex-
If we make a music tier list of any sort, the problem immediately becomes, okay, you know, and then you have to start actually making the tier list yourself. It's a headache and a half,
I
dude.
mean, you can always just sort of find like the goofy templates that they have, and then you could just stick with it. It doesn't have to be like the comprehensive tier list.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely.
Okay, so who made this tier? This is just one that.
All right. So if you scroll down, it's gonna be Rockley Smile who made the tier list.
Thank you, Mr. Rockley Smile. Very cool. Continue.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I mean, some other tier list ideas would be like best best local. No, I don't want to say bet. Well, yeah, I think they would be cool to do a local food list, but only if it was like central Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. But we're already having something. But spoiler alert: we're already working on something kind of more extravagant at the same level. So tune in next time, sometime in spring 2023 for that.
Okay, I got it pulled up.
All right.
Oh, here's one. We could do a roller coaster tier list.
I'm not sure how helpful I'd be on that one.
Well, I meant for like Six Flags.
Oh, okay.
Or we can do it. Or we can do it just a mainstream Disney movie tier list.
Oh yeah, no, there's probably like a Disney and a Pixar tier list. I know for a fact that there's a Pixar movie tier list on this.
I mean, heck, that would even be okay. And I know we can get like Travis involved. I know there's several people that can get involved in that. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
I can't hear
Aye, aye, Captain.
you! It's tier list time. Let's do it.
All right, Atari Pong,
Easy C.
easy C.
It's an easy C.
I feel like the Magnavox is a B though.
No. D.
What the
Atari-
Magnavox is like the first
Ha-
actual console though. So you have to give it
Okay, I will give. Here's the thing. There's no scoreboard, and in order to change the game, it's just the same variant of Pong. Only you have to get a Scantron sheet out and glue it to your TV. Which, by the way, you can't even do in a modern TV. And furthermore, a stock Pong system will still kind of work on a modern TV. It will look like shit, but it'll at least still work for the giggles. Magnavox Pong? Yeah, you need to modify it to even get it to work at all.
Are you expecting us to like seriously? You want us to put all the consoles on this list, or put the ones that we mostly know?
Don't include the variants, and like if you just want to
Don't
skip
include
something,
variants.
skip it.
Just follow along. Just follow along the stream, my guy. You follow. If anybody else can follow along at home too, by the way.
No.
Excuse me.
All right, Atari 2600. I feel like that has to be just like at least a B, just because of.
It's an A for
B.
me. It's an easy A tier system. It's
Magnavox-
every time I boot up my I won't say the console yet because we haven't gotten there. Every single time I boot up my Atari, it's always a blast and a half. I've got tons of games. It's always fun. I always get lost in it for a couple of hours.
I'm putting it in C tier because
Why?
It was good for the. It was good for the time.
It's
although-
still good now.
It's fun enough.
It's still good now. There are some hidden gems in that sucker. There are some hidden gems that. You played Pac-Man Jr.
Yeah, have you ever played Atari? I played Custer's Revenge on it.
I wouldn't exactly consider the Pac-Man of the Atari the definitive version.
No.
of
But Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man Jr. actually play good.
Wait, Jacob, you ever played Custer's Revenge?
We're not talking
Yep.
about Custer's Revenge.
The thing is, though, with the Atari, you also have to include like the shit games on it, and there's a lot.
Yeah, but if you say that with modern systems, that means every modern system's just trash tier, F tier automatically. I mean, we've already established that with Hilmer's, with Adeptus Continuous's Steam wishlist as it is.
Actually, no, I lied. My favorite game for the 2600 is Beat 'em and Eat 'em.
Okay, but hear me out. The 2600 led on to actually crash the market because there was no quality control.
That's
why I
true.
put it in C.
That's
That's why I put it in
true.
C tier.
But neither does Steam. Steam doesn't have quality control either.
Yeah, but with Steam, you can just sort of like with Steam, it's usually people.
Yeah,
know what
with
they're gonna-
Atari 2600, you could sort of just like filter through the shit now. I'm
Right.
talking
Well,
like
now,
right
yes.
now. If we're talking,
Same with-
I'm talking right now, as it stands today. For me, it's an A tier system. There's plenty of cool games. It's super fucking cheap to get a hold of, and you can literally throw any controller at it. And if you don't like the fucking rubber stick of doom that they have for a controller, you can plug in a better controller and it'll work just fine.
Admittedly, I'm actually like have like a weird fondness just for like the simplistic jankness of the controller.
It really, but you could use a Sega Genesis controller in the fucking thing and improve the experience like by times 5.
This is true.
You
Yeah,
know,
Honestly, with-
I'm just
So
putting it
now-
in B
I
tier.
don't know.
it's
When I
A
was
tier.
Coleco- when I was
It's
reviewing
B
Coleco-
tier for me, but like
The
A is
Coleco
tier.
Telstar is another Atari Pong system. It's just a clone of Atari Pong.
I'm not putting it on there. ColecoVision.
What about the 5200? You forgot the 5200.
No, the
I'll put it up
5200 I feel
there.
like is D at most.
It is D on a good day. It's not F
put
for
F.
2 reasons. No, it doesn't deserve F. It was done dirty. Actually, it should be C if you can get a really nice one and then get the third-party controller. But it's D because of the memes.
Yeah, but here
Honestly-
It's
you
actually
can really-
based- History time. It's actually based on a computer. If you want to get an Atari 5200, don't get a 5200. You get what's called an Atari 800 XL. It's an Atari computer, like an actual proper. I got one. I got one sitting right over there.
Actually, I lied. I'll put it on D tier. I'll actually move it to D tier. There's probably worse things that Atari has made. So I'll give
Oh.
it. I'll move.
Hold on. If you get a 5200, this is what you get. Right here.
Okay.
Did you just
Alright,
pull
next.
out the 5200?
No, I pulled out something that is got the exact same hardware as a 5200. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Atari 800 XL. It has the exact same graphics chip, the exact same processor, exact same sound chip, and get this! Standard same controller ports, a wider variety of games because I can take floppy disks, and no shitty controller.
I'm seeing. Interesting.
Yeah. Up on my end just to avoid like double.
Plus, not only that, but it shares the exact same library as the Atari 5200. It has the exact same library of games. But,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
way more because it's actually a successful computer. Okay, breathe, and moving on.
Channel F. I did not see this one on the initiative.
Oh, you didn't do the ColecoVision, though.
Oh, wait. I thought the ColecoVision's just a Pong clone.
No, the Coleco Telstar is. The ColecoVision is its own system.
Oh, okay.
I put
I
it in
didn't do
C
that.
tier.
It's a
There's
B
some
tier
good stuff
system.
for it.
The ColecoVision is a B
Okay.
tier. It would be higher if the controllers weren't garbage.
I'll just take your word on it and put it in B tier.
I put mine in C.
I'll put it in low B tier, and like if one of the tiers are getting crowded, I'll move it down. All right.
Okay.
The Fairchild.
D,
Vectrex.
D, easy D. The Fairchild Channel F is an easy D tier.
I haven't. I'm gonna assume this is F.
No, I feel like F's like saved for like abominations of content.
It's not abomination. Like, it's horrible, don't get me wrong, but it's also the first video game console ever to have cartridges. It's also the very first. It also was designed by an African American. You know, there's a lot of historic prominence behind the Fairchild Channel F. That's why it's in D. It'd be F if it wasn't, if it weren't for the historic prominence.
Yeah, no, that Vectrix. I looked this one up actually on the.
It's a, you know, it's going to be a solid B for me.
Yeah, no, it's kind of charming, especially for the time.
You know, it's better than you think. You know, you look at video of it and everything, but then you play one in person, and then the first thing you go is, man, the sound and graphics are fantastic, and then the second thing you say is, man, the controllers are shit.
I mean, I kind of want to put in C tier just because, like, it's basically just a giant fucking CRT.
It's not that big. It's not that big.
Oh, I know, like, it would have been D tier, but it's still relatively large.
No, it's not, actually. It's smaller than you think.
No, I looked it up. The library's, like, surprisingly decent. And
it's got surprisingly decent library of games. It's actually not that clunky, if you can believe it. It's no clunkier than... It's about... If you have, like, a decent-sized desktop PC with, like, an actual proper computer case, it's about half the size of that. And weighs about a third. It's actually pretty... It's actually pretty small. And my next door neighbor owns one. My next door neighbor owns one. I play on his all the time.
Let me look up the Vectrix.
I'm gonna probably make a switch. I'm actually gonna put the 2600 in B tier and this Vectrix in C.
Vectrix Dimensions. Oh yeah, no, it's surprisingly small. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the 2600. I think I do acknowledge that it does have some history in the grand scheme of things in video game history. So
you know what? I'm gonna put it right in front of the ColecoVision.
Yeah, it's the same level as ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Intellivision. Okay, I've owned an Intellivision. Here's the thing. You know the B-17 bomber meme? It sounds 10 times funnier in person. It sounds 10 times funnier in person. I shit you not. I took my Intellivision to the UC. It's actually usable. The controllers look like shit. They're not. Surprisingly so, actually. A lot of the games I've played on it are surprisingly playable. It's actually a surprisingly halfway decent system. I would easily put it at a B tier.
I'm actually gonna put it at C tier just because
I'm putting it in D tier. I think Coleco's better.
The ColecoVision is better, but not by much. The ColecoVision and Intellivision are about the same level again, because the Intellivision has usable controls, but the graphics and sound are not that great. But the ColecoVision makes up for graphics and sound, but the controls aren't that good.
Right,
the Intellivision controllers, you will be shocked how good they are. Believe it or not, they're pretty damn good. You wouldn't believe it, but they are.
I just like some of these just look. Part of the reason that I'm putting some of these where they are is just how goofy they look.
That's fair. So the Game & Watch, are we gonna rank that?
I'm gonna rank it, but like I feel like the Game & Watch is like
it's a C. It's a C tier to me.
I'd actually put it in like if we're ranking the individual ones, I'd say it's like high B actually, because like it knows what it is. It's fairly inexpensive, at least
the thing is, it's
I'm putting it in C tier.
It's C. It's an LCD mush special. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It is.
It's historic, which is why it's in C and not D.
I'm putting it in high B. It's just honestly the thing's just charming, and of course that's just.
It is kind of cute. I do like. One of my bucket list items for I don't like handhelds. I hate handhelds actually. But if I were to get a handheld, it would be a Game & Watch. Like that would be something I'd be into collecting. Like I would want to go after Game & Watch knockoffs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I feel like I'm a lot more knowledgeable on some of these handhelds than say the stuff. Like I can definitely say like.
So you all ready for the first controversial console of the night?
Atari.
Yeah, sure.
Atari 7800's an easy S tier.
What the fuck?
No,
No! It's like at that peak point where the fucking industry crashed.
No, I love my 7800. How dare you? I love it.
But you can love it, but you have to realize it's a shit console.
It's not a shit console. It's not.
Justin, it's not as bad as they say, but I'm putting it in C tier.
Alright, you know.
No,
I'm gonna-
look, listen. It's basically a 2600, but better. It literally is all it is a 2600, but better. It got improved graphics and sound. I have marathoned that thing for like 3 days, non-stop, without turning it off. It bops. It's a good system. Every game I've played on that system is addicting. The only downfall it has is it came out way too late, and it was poor timing, essentially. It's a victim of poor timing.
You have to admit, that control is fucking whack, though, for one.
Oh yeah, the original 7000 controller. You don't use an original 7000 controller. Nobody uses an original 7000 controller on a
You
7000.
see, that's
You use a Sega Genesis controller.
You shouldn't say, today I'm going to get a Sega Genesis controller instead of the one that comes with the console. You shouldn't have to do that.
People did that back then, not with a Sega Genesis controller, but like the tactical with the TAC 2, for example. There are literally go to eBay, you can find like buckets of third-party knockoff Atari controllers for like $10, and they'll all be infinitely better than the 7800 controller. And they'll be, and it's kind of.
The problem is, imagine you're getting this for Junior, and Junior is trying to use this fucking controller. Like, Junior, especially before the internet, doesn't know, I'm gonna get a replacement for this thing.
But here's my counter. It'd be a great sex toy later in life.
Dan, your thoughts?
Man, talk. What's the next one?
What's the next console?
Okay, this one might be controversial, but I'm putting the Commodore in A tier.
No, that's a fair assessment. I'm putting it in B tier.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm putting it in B tier is because there isn't that many Commodore 64 cartridge games. You're better off getting the full fat computer and getting floppy disks.
I mean, like, it was really meant for the computer experience. Though.
It was. It really was. And if it was the computer, it'd be an easy A or even S tier. But it's just the console.
I feel like it implies like you have a computer with it, so I'm gonna put it in A.
But how many people are gonna buy a computer and then a video game console in the 1980s, or even now? Do you know how rare a Commodore 64 game system is?
Okay, that one's fair.
It will go into D tier for me.
Okay, what the fuck?
What?
Why?
Why?
It hasn't aged. It hasn't aged well.
It's aged. It has a cult following, man. You just pissed off the entirety of Generation X, first of all. Second of all, there is literally an active user base for that thing.
Sorry.
There are YouTube channels with millions of subscribers literally dedicated to the Commodore 64!
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A tier because it implies, but B tier is also respectable.
It was the best-selling computer until the Raspberry Pi came out!
Do you wanna? Okay, maybe if you can prove it to me, maybe I'll change my mind. But right
I brought one to the video game club! Twice!
Yeah, he did!
That's right. I don't think I was there when you brought it.
That's your own damn fault and stupidity! You're missed out, man. You're missing out. Get Vice. No. Do yourself a favor, Twit. Get Vice installed on your PC right now and try out some games.
Well, we'll try to convince me. Maybe I'll change my mind later on.
You just pissed off an entire... That girl that you've been banging lately, she's now mad at you because that's her childhood computer.
That's a long story about that one.
Oh, god damn it.
Okay. Next console.
Next one's the NES. I think it's A tier.
I think it's S tier. But here's the thing.
tier.
The American NES is A tier, but I'm going to rank it under its Japanese variant. The S version's better. The Japanese Famicom is better. The games are cheaper. You can play American games. You can also use modern Nintendo AV cables, stock with a stock AV Famicom. It's top. It also has better reliability. Just get an AV Famicom, please. Okay, moving on.
I'm just gonna put it in A tier. Like some of the games have an H.
Yeah,
But the thing
a
is,
lot.
just
It's
for how
the NES.
much of a leap it was. Yeah. for how
People
much of
are
a leap-
still. There are still like hardcore, like NES Tetris. Again, do we even talk about NES Tetris and how
No, it's
much
a-
of
it's
a
a good
cult
console,
following and how much the esports scene has popped off in the last few years?
It's a good console. I just don't think it's S tier.
It's S
I
tier,
put an
but
A
only
tier.
if you use
A
the
tier.
Japanese variant. It's
The
A
Japanese
tier-
variant.
the Japanese
is, like,
variant is
low
S tier, and that's where I'm putting it because that's the only NES I own.
The Japanese variant's low
So
S
that's
tier,
the
but
only way I can rank it. Is
that-
my experience with the tiny Japanese one. That's so fantastic.
I'd say that it's like the Japanese version is low S, but like
It is.
the
easily.
American version's still like mid-level A.
Yeah. Okay, so Sega Master System. I'm gonna
I'm
put
gonna
that
put
at
it at-
C.
Yeah,
B
that's
tier. I put it in B. There's some gems to it.
But the controller is super stiff. I'm
Yeah,
only
that-
putting it at
yeah.
C. You know, I'll put
controller is-
my Master System at B, but my Master System's modified.
I feel like
But-
the Master System C, it's just because they kind of fucked off with it as soon as they made the Genesis.
Yeah. No, actually, they
And
didn't. Not in Brazil. Brazil, the Master System's still in production. They're still making games for that fucking thing down in
Okay,
Brazil.
besides Brazil.
The Master System holds the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest video game console lifespan ever. Because
Is it still going?
it's still going in
Oh
Brazil.
god.
They're still printing these fuckers. They're still making new ones, and there are still games being published for it.
The thing is, like, they're probably still not making it. It's just like everyone has one, so they're just publishing the games for the Master
No, they're still selling it. You could go on Amazon and buy a brand new Master System. In Brazil.
Oh, god. In this... Alright.
It's being licensed under it's under production by a company called Tectoy, under license from Sega. Same thing with the Genesis. It's the Genesis is in the same boat as the Master System. It's being licensed out and produced by a company called Tectoy. Most people in Brazil hate Tectoy, but
It's the only way they can get their Master
it's
System.
basically their version of Apple or Tesla or Nintendo. I just named the top 3 evil corporate tech entities. Okay, moving on.
I mean, people still like Tesla for nefarious reasons. But
Yeah, and people still like the Master System for nefarious reasons.
fair enough. Alright, the Lynx. I feel like the Lynx can't be anywhere higher than, like, D tier.
It's C.
The
I owned a
Lynx
Lynx
is
briefly, and actually, I hate to say it, it wasn't bad.
To be honest,
It wasn't
Going
bad.
off what I've seen, it's kind of shit, but...
No,
I wanna put
the controls are actually halfway decent. The graphics are pretty good, and the sound's pretty good. Where the hell have you been?
Me?
We started 20 minutes ago!
Yeah, we said we'd start at 9.
I am this time of night.
You said you were looking forward to this. Do you want to boot up to your maker and we can catch you up to speed? Or do you want to try and catch up with us, or what do you want to do?
Give me a sec.
We just reached Gen 4.
We're just on the edge of Gen 4.
I don't exactly have an opinion on Gen 4 and beyond, because the only consoles I actually ever used was PS2, PS3, and my Switch, and a laptop.
Okay, so he's just along for the ride, cracking jokes.
Yeah,
Got
pretty
it.
much.
I mean,
I mean,
Much
I've
like our
done
D&D
research on some of
campaign, I'm
these, so
just
they're
vibing.
kind of from
Alright.
So
okay, I'm putting the Lynx in D tier. I played
It's C.
one. I wasn't.
I owned one. Wasn't a bad console actually. I liked it. You know, and it's,
I was.
the screen wasn't
like,
total horse shit. The sound
I
was
mean,
pretty good. The games were pretty good.
like, the thing is, though, it's, like, weirdly, like, small and too big at the same time. It's, like, the formatting of it.
As someone that owns that's been dealing big chunkus phones for like 3 years, it actually wasn't that unreasonable.
Yeah, but, like, for, like, the average person who's not dealing with a big chungus phone.
That's fair. I don't know. My next one I really like the Lynx. And so did my friend Dan.
All right.
So okay,
Trevor-
this is kind of a weird one, right? Because the first image is the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, and the second one's the TurboGrafx 16 CD. So I'm gonna rank the Mini as its base TurboGrafx 16 model, and then the CD is its own platform. That's how I'm doing it.
I mean, I'll just put them both in C for a general.
Fuck you!
No, it's not that. Okay, maybe like low B, but it's not.
The TurboGrafx 16 is. It's an A.
Yeah.
They're both A for me, honestly.
Let me look up the lineup real quick for TurboGrafx.
Because apparently it's not bad. It's just they don't. It's not that many bad games, but just.
No, there's no bad game. There's like very few bad games on the system. It's every game has been a banger basically. The only thing, the only reason it's not.
Darkwing Duck.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
bad. That wasn't bad.
Duck. You like Darkwing Duck, really?
It wasn't
no,
bad.
The lineup is a lot bigger than I expected. I feel like it's like a B tier, honestly.
No, it's A. It's minimum an A.
It's not quite A. Like I wouldn't say it's good as the
It's-
Commodore.
Can I show you guys
I
something? This is
think-
the only time I'm gonna have an excuse to grab this. Can I show you guys something?
Sure, yeah.
Give me 1 second.
No, I'm not
This is
watching
the only
it. Hold on,
time.
let me
This is
go.
the only excuse I have for having this. It's the only time I can say this. I'm gonna get something.
Right. You do that while I just sort of wait here.
Yeah, sorry if I'm a bit disorganized. Had my setup out in the living room for TennoCon earlier.
Fair.
By the way, I have news regarding Warframe. If anybody wants to hear it.
Is Raiden in Warframe now?
What?
Is Raiden in Warframe now?
Oh God, no. Excalibur
Cringe.
kicked his ass. Remember?
No, yeah, but cringe. They don't put badass Robot Man in. Cringe.
Dude, I'm more pissed that they completely gimped Excalibur on his loadout.
Well, he wins regardless, but like,
Yeah,
honestly,
but it's
they
like it
kind
would
of
have been. But it's like I'm more
Okay.
pissed that they.
I'm back. Here it is.
well them both. But okay,
Here it is.
I might have to tune into your stream real quick on my other window.
No, it's on Discord. Just put it on Discord.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, no, you would have to do it. You would have to do it on my stream.
Oh, okay.
Did you really bring out a TurboGrafx 16 box?
It's my very first game system, guys. It's a minimum
okay,
A.
well, then you're biased. So
I have the manual. I have accessories. I own the box. My
Hang on,
parents
the mouse
bought
is
this in
on.
'92.
Sorry, I'm still putting it in C tier. I mean, it just
No, it's A. I brought the box out.
no.
yeah,
Sorry.
I'm putting on the high end of B.
Also, the controller length was kind of a picky. I'm sorry.
You can buy
I
extension
can't see
cables.
I can't see my mouse. Please send help.
Wow, that click, that kick click ASMR. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on the shelf in the living room. Give me a second.
Yeah, hang on. You do that while I try to add my
But-
mouse back in.
Hell on my laptop. So, Squirrel, I was just saying, I got news on Warframe if you want to hear it.
Now the mouse is back. Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Alright.
Yeah, no, but just
Okay.
he left. I think he jumped off for a little bit though. But
Okay,
I'm just trying
that's gonna be one of only 2 times in this whole stream I'm gonna be biased.
Of
It's gonna be
course you
only
are.
1 of 2 times I'm gonna be biased for this whole stream. I swear.
what? Actually, no. We'll wait for the other one when we get there. It's
And
fine.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I've
I have
already
a
hinted
feeling
it.
I know which one it is, but
It's not the direction you think. Okay, so
Oh.
the Game Boy
I'm putting
Color.
it
B tier.
Handles.
I
I
have
feel
it
like
in
the
B
Game
tier. I
Boy-
like it. It's
I feel
B
like-
for me. There's some good.
Do we
stuff.
want
I
to do
put
the
it in B
Game
tier.
Boy and Game Boy Color separate?
I feel like the
Uh,
Game Boy Color is different enough to justify it. So.
Then Game Boy is
I
D.
mean, other than it being color, but I would put both. I'm just gonna do the Game Boy because both the color and the Game Boy are kind of the same to me. I'm putting them both in B tier.
Well, the Game Boy Color is a lot more powerful. So.
The Game Boy
D tier
itself,
for
the
me.
base Game Boy is D.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a high D actually, because it's kind of like clunky. You can barely
Yeah.
see the screen at times.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not
good.
quite F, but it because like it has some good games on. It has some good games on it, which is the only time I'm ever gonna say that sentence. So.
Yeah. So what are we
Right.
putting the Super Nintendo at?
Oh, easy S, easy S.
A. It's A.
Oh come on, like that's one of the
Oh, the
best
Super- the
lineups
Super-
ever.
yeah,
for,
but
The
like,
TurboGrafx
video-
I put
16.
an A.
Actually, just to spite y'all, TurboGrafx 16 is moving to
No,
S
no.
because the Super Nintendo's lower than that. And I don't want to put the Super
Quality of
Nintendo.
lineup. It's called quality of lineup.
No. We're not putting TurboGrafx. How would you put that over on the same? I mean, that's
The Super Nintendo, it to me is lower than the TurboGrafx 16.
wait.
No,
Objectively
no,
speaking.
No. Okay, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line.
No,
I put
but it is.
Dude,
Wait
like
till
the
you see
Super
my S
Nintendo lineup is like probably one of the greatest lineups that there is.
No, it isn't. It is not.
I'll pull up the list. There's like the classic Mega Man X games. You got Metroid.
I already have a Mega Man X. I didn't
Metroid.
like it.
Mega Man X is great.
Okay, it's okay. It's a decent game for a Megalovania game. It's great. But do you know where the Megalovania franchise started? On the TurboGrafx. That Tread of Hell with bullet hells and Megalovania games started on the TurboGrafx.
There has to be one on the NES. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, but it was published after the console came out. It was a port.
All right. What's
yeah.
next?
Just, I want to go on the SNES one a little bit further. Like you have like
No, like okay.
a really good
Here's
set
the
of
thing.
games. just
Here's the
total,
thing.
you have-
Out of all of the 4th gen consoles, the Super Nintendo has always been my least favorite. I own a Super Famicom for crying out loud, so I do.
Why?
Why? Because it's
Like,
better than
come
Super Nintendo. Aesthetically speaking, it's
No,
better than
no.
Super Nintendo.
Well, I mean, aesthetically, but like it has like some of the, like I said, some of the greatest lineups because that is when Nintendo was
Listen,
only
put it-
interested in the taste of
okay.
Santa's blood.
the only. I listen. I already put it in A tier with the TurboGrafx 16, and and Gradius 3 brought it up 2 ranks right then and there. All right, Barry,
All right.
we miss you, man.
I'll listen real quick.
No, Barry. Wait, you remember Barry?
No, I remember Barry, yeah, but like,
Gradius 3.
Was that the guy? Was that the guy
That's
who
the guy who
rage
brought
quit in
Gradius.
Video Game Club?
no, that's Max.
And that's not the right console.
No, that.
That was the
we'll get-
N64.
Yeah, we'll get to that one later.
But
I
no,
have
the
some,
Super
uh,
Nintendo.
What's
The
next?
only Super Nintendo I actually genuinely enjoyed playing was the Nintendo PlayStation.
The what?
The Nintendo PlayStation. The Super Nintendo PlayStation.
No,
Oh,
I played on one.
oh, Jacob, there's a fatal flaw with this tier list. It doesn't have the hyperscan.
F! Moving on.
that's a valid reaction.
Philips CDI. I feel like it's
F tier
justified
for me.
to put. It's
It's
Philips
F.
CDI is an F tier. Even
Yeah.
There's only one good game!
No,
and it's
one-
still an F!
One good game.
Abomination.
Okay, hear me. This is what Nintendo
I agree.
picked instead of Sony. So, like, the terms of the raw consequences of this shit had, and they had such like some of the most infamous games known to man. The one good game on it's not enough to save it.
It's F. It was
It's
it,
F.
what no, the best game on the system was Tetris.
Okay, yeah, that's fair because you can't really fuck up Tetris.
Oh yes you can.
You can, but it's hard.
Depends on what developer you are.
Do you mind if I just rank the Genesis? We rank the Genesis before we rank the
Yeah,
Sega
the
add-ons?
accessories. Yeah, no, I was gonna suggest the same thing.
Oh,
So-
because Sega Genesis is S tier.
It is. It's S tier.
Yeah,
Gen-
easy S.
Really?
Easy S. Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
The thing is, if this thing is competing with one of the greatest consoles
I
ever,
put it in B tier because
After
it's
the-
How dare you!
The thing
You
is,
really
like,
are
the
just here to
Genesis-
piss me off tonight, aren't you? You really are just here to piss everybody off tonight. First you pissed off all the MILFs, and now you're pissing off all the DILFs.
The Genesis is a good console. I put it in B. I like it. It's just like I just think the Super Nintendo had better games.
Okay, here we are. The thing
No,
is that
the
this game
Genesis
isn't-
has a way better library of games than the Super Nintendo.
Well,
Hands
I
down.
think the
No.
Super Nintendo's library is better. The fact
No,
that
they're
it's
not.
in striking
No, it's not.
distance-
Yes, I do.
Let me finish the thought though. Since it's in striking distance of that lineup, even though it was meant to be competing with the NE the console behind it, it cannot be put anything lower than S tier. Just on that alone.
To me, it goes Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, Super Nintendo, in that order.
I put SNES.
And Neo Geo is towards the bottom somewhere.
Oh no, yeah, Neo Geo is.
We're gonna get to that.
No, yeah, we need to get through the add-ons first. Like,
Although I am kind of sad the Amiga CD32 isn't on here because I would have ranked that like C.
Okay, Sega CD. I'm gonna put it in C for CD, I
I
guess.
put it-
No,
I
I'm
put it
putting
in-
that in D. I'm putting that
Yeah,
in
I agree.
D.
D. It's
You know,
D.
there's a D in CD, so that's fair.
Almost-
The
Most of
thing
the-
is, I brought a Sega CD to Video Game Club, and with a handful of games, the slowdown. There are like stutters and slowdown on that thing. Like it
Really?
was some of the games that were meant to be really like the best games were abysmally slow, like horrible
Played some of
adaptations.
The CD games on the CD games on emulators, and they somehow managed to emulate the slowness, which
Yeah.
is kind of an effective, which is kind of impressive on it in a vacuum. But
It really is. But the Sega CD doesn't have that many good games, and is
CD
plagued with slowdown. It's the only reason it's not an F tier is because it's not entirely useless. I mean, I got a Sega CD. Like there are some okay games, I guess, but if you want to live with the slowdown,
Where would you put the 32X? Because I'd say it's
A.
like, Oh, really?
No, I put it.
Yeah.
To me,
It's
I
got my
don't think
favorite
it's-
port of Doom, boys. It's got my favorite port of Doom.
I feel
Just
like it's
play the-
enough of an upgrade, but it's still like.
Just play the
I
original
leave
game.
my
I don't care about the
32X
port.
permanently attached on my Sega Genesis. I really do. And there
That's the
are
thing
a
is,
lot.
though, it's an
Every
add-on,
game
so
on the
I feel like
32X
it'd be-
I have played, I've enjoyed.
That
I'll
is
put
fair,
it-
but
I will
actually,
put it in.
that's-
It's C tier. I mean, there are some good titles, but and the Doom
Eh,
port is good. I'll put it.
The
in C.
Doom port is really, it's so bad it's great. The soundtrack is fantastic, first of all.
Of course, because
The fart,
you know-
the Genesis Fartbox sound chip is unmatched. It cannot be
by that
matched.
same by that same
Only
logic, the CDI is S tier.
Well, Nima, do you know why I like? You probably know why I love the Doom soundtrack.
Yes, we get it. You like metal.
I'm gonna put it in
So-
like high B tier because it's still at its core, it's an add-on.
Yeah, it's the
So-
best. It's the best add-on to ever come out for a video game system.
Oh, best add-on, yeah, but it's still an add-on.
Oh man, there are some other add-ons coming up here in the near future. That's we're just gonna be having a time with. All right.
All
So
right,
Game
the-
Gear, C.
Game Gear's honestly is on. I'd honestly put the Game Gear in A.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
I
a-
have never.
Really?
like
I have never played it on a Game Gear, so I'm gonna put it in D tier.
I've
but-
owned a Game Gear. I've owned a Game Gear for quite some time. I still own a Game Gear. I own every single major Sega Genesis, Sega console,
'cause you had
and the
lineup
Game
for
Gear is not my Game Gear and Master System are about the same level of yeah, they're okay to me. There are some really cool Sonic games on there. Don't get me wrong, but
The lineup for the
it's-
Game Gear just is really impressive, and like for the time, it's just like
But
this
it-
really cool
yeah.
thing. It's just that it wasn't there yet.
I just realized put the Links at the same level as the Game Gear, the same level as Links. B. It's B. B on that logic alone.
I feel like I am kind of overselling the
You really are.
Game Gear.
It's
but, like,
not that good. It's not. It's good. It's just not that good.
I'm gonna put it above the 32X just to mess with you.
Oh, well,
You know-
In front.
Here's the thing: the 32X and Game Gear are the 32X is higher on my list than the Game Gear. But again, I don't like handhelds, so I respect your
You s-
opinion.
Yeah, this thing. Though I'm going at it from a position of just liking handhelds, just because those are what I grew up on with more.
do it. Oh crap!
I grew up on a
There's
console.
like-
My parents said I was too poor to have a handheld.
The handhelds are cheaper.
Yeah, but my first game console was also made in 1987.
Okay, yeah. Where would you put the Neo Geo?
The Neo
The
Geo,
Neo
Neo Geo
Geo?
CD. Neo Geo's
Uh,
older, by the way.
Okay,
I would put a Neo Geo in C. I mean, there's some good game. I
Yeah,
haven't really
the
played
Neo
on
Geo's
one.
honestly-
I am tempted to put it in F, but I'm gonna put it in D.
I'm gonna
Really?
put it at.
It's
I
not
put it
that
like.
bad. I would
The
put it in
original
C. I
Neo
think it's
Geo is
original.
so fucking expensive, and the
Was it expensive
controls.
for the time, or?
Yeah, it was expensive for the time, and it's expensive. Go on eBay right now. Look up what it costs to get a used Neo Geo with games. With
Look at
games.
the original price.
Go for it.
Neo Geo system because shit.
Neo Geo AES. You have to type in AES, or else it's gonna do ME, or else it's gonna give you arcade prices.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say the Neo Geo AES. Okay. System. $650 apparently.
You can buy a TurboGrafx 16 and a Sega Genesis
God,
and a
yeah,
Super
I know.
Nintendo for about the same price. Collectively,
Yeah, no,
same
I
price
think
as a fucking Neo Geo.
I'm with you on that. I'm putting it in D.
And the arcade stick isn't that good.
What
However,
about this? I mean, I kind of like the arcade stick, but
the Neo Geo CD. Best
Alright, now-
thumbstick ever. You boys, I've handled a Neo Geo CD. I don't own one, but I have a friend that does. And I've used the controller on a Neo Geo CD. It's the best controller ever. It's the
I
best
feel like
thumbstick
when
ever.
people think of the Neo Geo, they think of the CD.
They do. I'm putting that at a C because the load times are very slow, and the games library isn't particularly that good. Because
I mean, it's mostly
you,
Fatal
you got
Fury.
it's basically Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, and Metal Slug. That's all you get. Oh, and
It's
uh,
good-
Gi- and
it's good
Giga
for
Wing
what
and
it's
Giga
trying
Wing,
to do.
and you got Giga Wing in there too sometimes.
It's a good fighting game system, but it's fine at everything else.
But the thumbstick, oh god, it clicks. The Neo Geo it's a proper like analog thumbstick that clicks every time you move it. Like it's got the satisfying micro switch click, but every time you move it in a different direction, you can still move it. Like it still functions as an analog stick, but it's micro switch the fuck out. It is literally it's literally better than fondling a tit. I guarantee it.
Wow, high praise coming from you.
All right, the where are you gonna put the? Is the Jaguar F tier? 'Cause,
It
like,
sure is.
Okay,
The Jaguar.
And the Jaguar CD is even lower somehow.
Jaguar CD is F tier. Jaguar is actually on D tier because it has Tempest 2000. That's the saving grace.
You can buy that on Steam.
this
Um,
by that same logic, the Philips CDI is in D for Tetris.
There's a couple.
Yeah!
Other for the Jaguar.
Okay, I'm with Danny. I will put the Jaguar system in D. It's a very low D, but there
I'm
are a
keeping it in
couple
F.
of good games on the Jaguar. There are like 2.
I'm keeping it in F. I'm sticking to my morals.
The CD is staying in F.
I mean, come on, Justin, the Jaguar. I mean, give them sympathy. I mean, at least the Jaguar was trying.
It's trying,
It didn't try.
but it's-
They didn't try. They didn't try.
No, this
Yeah,
is like Atari.
I'm an
like-
Atari fanboy. You know what they did? They took everything they did good at the time and went, fuck it. Jaguar.
Yeah, this was their last. I want to put this into perspective. This was their last console.
And it wasn't even a good attempt. Because here's the thing. They should have stuck with doing the Panther. Okay, moving on. The Panther was better. On paper.
Okay, the color. I feel like this is why we made the distinction, because the color is like a huge improvement to the original.
It
Game Boy.
is. I'm putting it at C for that reason.
I'm putting it in B actually, just because like that's.
I'll just put
Nintendo
Game
realized.
Boy. I'm putting both Game Boy and Game Boy Color in D. They're good.
The thing is, I'm
original
not-
Game Boy is D, but the
I'll
color
put
is
it. I'll put it the Game Boy in B. There are some. I'm thinking about the game library, and you do have Pokemon.
And
That
for some
alone,
reason-
and you also have
That is-
Digimon, which is infinitely
know what?
better.
That is fair. I'm gonna put it in low C instead of D. The original
Because of
Game Boy. But the
Pokemon?
colors- Well, yeah, I feel like Pokemon, Digimon, that's like enough of a follow mark of just raw.
To get it B. To get it to B.
No,
Like it's
no,
riding on
from
Pokemon
D to-
alone.
From high D to low C for the original Game Boy. Now I'm not bringing it to B for that. I'm bringing it from the low end of one tier, the high end of one tier to the low end of another.
Yeah, because the original Game Boy, yeah, you got some pretty decent games, but the Game Boy Color does add some stuff to it. That was when Pokemon came out. You know, it came out on the backbone of the Game Boy Color. It literally
The
made the
original
Game Boy
Pokemon
Color
was on the Game
significant.
Boy.
No, I believe it is a Game Boy. We're looking this
No,
up.
no, Pokemon Red is on the original Game Boy because that's when they realized, hey, we need to make an actually good poke thing to run this thing. Yeah, the original Game Boy.
You are correct, sir. I apologize, but I apologize.
You are forgiven.
All right, next.
My rank stands though.
Okay, I'm gonna get shit for this, but the Nintendo 64 is D tier.
To me,
I'm putting
it's,
it in A
S
tier.
It's S tier for me.
No, it's D tier just because like there's very little good games and all the popular games are like overrated in my eyes.
No, they're not. There are some
There's
good
some-
games that are underrated. I have found them.
Cuckoo's-
I own them.
Conker's Revenge. Oh,
Honestly,
San
Conker's
Francisco
Bad Fur
Rush
Day.
2049.
What?
Oh, yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yes, but like you're dealing with like a shitty console that could have been the play that.
I will say, okay, I'll put it at B tier.
GoldenEye?
I'll put it at B tier for one reason alone. The N64 controller sucks fucking ass.
Honestly,
Okay, you
that's a
guys-
huge
you
reason
guys-
for why it's so
you
low
guys-
for me.
You guys are haters. I'm putting it in S tier.
It's
You guys-
not.
the
It's got
library
3 handles on it.
The library is shit. It's expensive as all.
Have you?
hell.
And I have yet to find an N64 thumbstick. A Nintendo 64 thumbstick that wasn't when you stick the controller, the thumbstick just flaps around and actually does movement in the game.
It gave you fucking blisters too.
I found some good ones. You guys just haven't been looking. Oh, it's still an S tier to me. It's a good game library. And
It's a very good game library. I'm not denying that.
Honestly,
I own
it's
quite a
honestly
few
the
N64 games. The reason it is at B tier for me is because of the game library.
Honestly, like a lot of the libraries, like big heavy hitters, are overrated. Conker's good, but like Mario 64,
I guess-
honestly.
It's
the-
the Mario. Listen, the Mario 64 games bad, but Mario Party 3,
Okay,
Mario Party
yeah,
3,
you got that. You got
one
that.
of the
I'll give
best
you-
Mario parties ever. First,
I'll
and
give
then
you
not
Mario
only
Party
that,
3 and Star Fox,
San
but,
Francisco,
like,
San Francisco Rush is also fantastic. Actually, any racing game on the N64 is fantastic, if you can
I
believe
feel
it.
like there is some really good gems, but I feel like just in terms of like raw price expense, just
No, they're coming
mean,
down in
actually,
price.
it
They're
is really-
actually coming down in price, if you can believe it.
but the
Wait,
the,
what
the
we
cartridges
talking-
though.
What we
Oh,
talking
Actually,
those are
about?
coming
no.
down too. Those are actually coming down too.
Oh really?
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
What are we
I
talking
do
about?
actually. I'm gonna put it at low C. Low,
There you
instead
go.
of high.
I will accept the C.
Okay. I'll forgive. I'm still keeping mine in D. I'm sorry.
Right
S tier.
Right between the Gen ones.
Virtual Boy F.
The
Virtual Boy
yeah,
F. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Moving
you
on.
get headaches, yeah.
Moving on.
Let's-
Uh,
Sega
Nomad.
Nomad is literally just a portable Sega Genesis. It's a variant. Moving on.
Wait. Oh, what about? Wait, you don't even like the Tetris game for the Virtual Boy? That was actually okay.
My
Yeah,
eyeballs
yeah.
were in pain, Danny!
Your eyeballs or your balls?
I
Yes!
feel like
They both hurt when I play the Virtual Boy!
Well, stop sitting.
All
on the damn
four of my
couch
balls!
then.
Alright, I'm gonna put the Nomad in C just
No, the Nomad's a variant of the Sega Genesis. It's just a portable
Like a
Sega
lot.
Genesis.
Oh, does it
No.
have all the games?
Yeah, it's literally just a Sega Genesis, but portable.
Oh shit, okay.
It's a variant.
Okay. The Saturn I feel like is a D tier, is gonna be where the Nintendo 64 used to be.
A.
Yeah,
It's
I'm putting
A.
it- I'm
It's
putting it-
A.
No,
No,
the
that was-
library is so shit for the Saturn. The controller.
it's not! The games are actually really good.
There's like a couple good.
And
this thing is what
It
makes
has
it
no.
Sega.
The Sega Saturn has the best controller ever. It has the
No,
best
no,
fighting
no.
controller. Yes,
Are
it
you-
does.
No, it doesn't.
Are you
The
kidding
Japanese,
me?
the Japanese Sega Saturn controller is the de facto standard for every single 6-button face controller that has come since for fighting games. It has become the standard
Look at this.
for
Look
fighting
at-
games.
I have it on my stream. Look at this shit.
Are you looking at the American controller or the Japanese controller?
I think
Or
it's
the
Steam
giant circle?
I'm sorry, it's still D. I mean, it's
It's-
in D.
It's the.
It's A.
It's not.
It's
I'm,
A.
I'm keeping it lodged
Get the
in D.
controllers. Okay, get the controller out the way. It's a D tier. I mean, just
Get the controller out of the way. You still have a phenomenal racing game library.
It's just racing games. It's just,
I mean, I guess
And
if you're
Sonic
racing
Jam was the best. Is one of the best Sonic compilations ever.
I guess if you're a racing fan, maybe you could put it a little higher. But I'm sorry, even if I
Yes.
was, I'll probably would put it only no higher than like than C.
It to me, it's an A.
Next.
a Neo Geo Pocket. I'm actually gonna put that like a little higher than the other Neo Geos, just because it's
It's the
charming.
Neo Geo, the Neo Geo Pocket and the Pocket Color are both D's for me.
Really, it's kind of charming.
They're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm gonna put it in B just because I kind of like what it's going for. The original PlayStation, S tier.
It's
A tier.
Yeah.
A tier.
S tier.
A tier is respectable.
A tier,
thing
but
is,
only
like,
because the
PS2
PS2 exists.
Well,
If the
You
PS2
can
didn't
put
exist,
both of them in- I'm
yes,
gonna preempt-
but the
we
PS,
put
but
PS2 in S tier,
because of the
but-
PlayStation 2's existence, it makes the PS1 basically completely obsolete.
Yeah, but like just for what it was.
I guess so, but you know, I guess I'm looking also the game library. Also.
Nobody's gonna own a PS1. They're just gonna buy a PS2.
But like some of the PS2s aren't compatible. I thought.
Oh, they all are.
Oh, they all are the.
They all
Oh.
are. I owned multiple different PS2s. They all played PS1 games
shit.
just fine.
Okay, I'm gonna put PlayStation
gonna-
as the hallmark of.
I'm keeping both of the PS1 and PS2 in S tier. I don't know.
We're not even at PS2 yet.
Just preemptively putting PS2 in
Yeah.
S tier.
I mean, fine. I'll do it too. Fuck it.
Like that one's an obvious one.
Alright.
What do we want to do with the 3DO?
I'm putting that in
F
B.
tier. That's F tier. Are you high? It's F. It's an abomination.
What do you mean it's an abomination?
It's not quite
It's
an
not-
abomination, but
It's
D
to
tier
me
in
it's
my
an
mind.
It's not an abomination. What do you mean? The library of
It's
games
not
isn't
quite
bad. It's got a decent library. There's actually a handful of decent games. Okay, I will name a franchise that got its roots started on the 3DO, and you will tell me whether or not that franchise is good or bad. Need for Speed.
Oh fuck yeah, you're right.
The
for
first
Speed, at
Need,
least.
the original Need for Speed was exclusive originally on the 3DO.
I mean, the
I'm-
original
I'm calling
Speed
you
is
out on
not
that one.
exactly that
Hold
good.
on.
It's just sort of
Hold
became
on.
good things later.
Need for Speed. Hold on. I am going to call you out on that. I call bullshit.
It was
No,
published
no, it
originally
did.
on the 3DO,
It was.
and the controller actually is pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not quite B tier. I'll put it above the Saturn.
It's
It's
F
C.
because half.
How
of
dare
them
you?
are-
You're putting it above the Saturn? C.
Yeah,
The 3DO is C tier.
the
I'll-
Saturn shit. I still stand
The
by
3DO is C
You guys
tier
are-
because there isn't that many good games. I will say
Let's
that.
see
There
the
are
first
good
release.
games, and they're obtainable. And the 3DO is fairly cheap, and the controllers are pretty decent.
Oh, okay. It was also released on the. Oh,
The 3DO
oh,
does have a decent
my.
library too, so like.
Oh,
I'll put it-
oh my! It really did get. Wait! It did get a start in the 3DO. Oh, hold on.
Exposed.
As a racing fanboy, I have to acknowledge its existence, okay? As a racing
Okay, that
game
just
fan, I have to acknowledge the 3DO. It's
that's
the
just-
first.
That's just a diamond. That is. I'll give you credit. It's a diamond in the rough, but it's still F tier. Half the games feel like are just really bad movies. So, F. It's still an F. It's a diamond.
There are more decent games in the 3DO than you think.
As of now, it's still F tier.
I'm
I'll
gonna
give you
start look-
credit.
It's not quite F tier, but.
It's C.
Plus the price was like. The price was like.
You can
$5.
get a
It was like
good 3DO for just a hair over $100 there, Chief.
But when it came
I've been
out,
eyeing up buying a
it
3DO for about 2 years now.
but when it came out, it was like $1,500.
Yeah, actually $800 if you want to be critical here.
Fuck
But
yeah. Yeah, I'm
Inflation, my guy.
listen, we all know you have that fetish, but let's move on.
the Game.com
No,
is honestly like a high F tier.
It's a very low F tier. The Gamecom's garbage. No,
better than the
it's
Virtual
horrible. Okay, it is better than the Virtual Boy, but
Gamecom?
not by
Yeah,
much.
it's F.
Boy. Like
It's F.
F tier, I'm saving for like absolute abomination.
It is an absolute abomination.
It is. It is.
an
But
abomination.
compared to the other abominations,
No, I stand by it. They are all equally as big. I'm not gonna be like splitting hairs on tiers. By the way, I'm not like doing low, mid, highs or anything. I'm just putting it into a tier, and that's it.
It's definitely up tier. It's just sort of like it's like a general ballpark for me. Like the
Yeah.
game.
Stupid. You know, honestly, Nemeth. I feel like Nemeth just hates me now because of where I put the 3 out.
Where's the Dreamcast?
Dreamcast is on here.
Okay,
Dreamcast is I put it. It's A tier. For
shut
me.
up. We're not getting to that yet. We're not at that yet.
Oh, sorry. That's
The
what
original
everyone wants
Xbox is next.
The original
And-
Xbox.
Original Xbox is A in my eyes.
To me, it's a
B,
C.
it's-
Oh,
it's B.
I'll put it at
It's
B. It's B.
It's B.
It's-
I mean, the B
Actually,
tier.
the game library is kind of weak besides Halo.
But
so...
here's the, no, it's not that weak actually, because you have Jet Set Radio. You do have Jet Set Radio. You do have
You do.
a lot of You have Shenmue 3. You have Shenmue 2.
Oh yeah.
You do have quite a few racing games. It does have a healthy library, but that healthy library has been backported to the 360 and then the Xbox One and then the Series X.
Yeah, but
So
like,
the library is legendary in a sense, and believe it or not, and let's not forget, Rooster Teeth exists. If it weren't for the Xbox, Rooster Teeth wouldn't even exist. Even if
yeah, that's the 360 though, right?
no, they started in 2003.
You're on the first
Oh
Xbox
shit, yeah.
360.
The original Xbox.
Yeah.
The big boy.
The original Xbox also set the standard for calling your mom gay.
Oh well.
You gotta
yeah,
respect
alright.
that. You gotta.
You got to respect that.
All right, the
Alright,
GBA.
now-
All right, so the
Alright,
original
that-
GBA, I'm
The
going to
GBA and the SP I'm ranking at the same platform, and they are S tier.
put. The
to be
GBA
honest,
is like high A,
It's
but
S.
Game Boy.
the
Game
the,
Boy
the
Advance-
SP is S tier.
Game
Now
Boy
they're
Advance
just
is,
a variant of each other. They're just a variant of
No,
each
the
other.
SP has like the foldable, the light. It has a lot more features going for it, and it has the
I
charger.
put.
It's the same
It's
platform,
It's eight.
Yeah, but it's like
A-tier
such
for
an
me.
improvement over the GBA.
but it's the same platform.
Yeah.
It's the same platform, but it's a significant improvement to the same platform. Like,
That's like saying the
Well,
Wii Mini is
well-
the significant improvement over the Wii.
but no, like the SP is different enough. The Wii is just a Wii. The Wii Mini is just a Wii, but smaller.
Okay, fine. Then just rank the SP then, and not the original Game Boy.
Okay.
I'm gonna rank both of them actually.
The Game Boy is
A tier
S.
for me, and the Game Boy Advance-
Regardless of which version you get, it is S. Because I can always just plug it into a GameCube and call it a day.
I mean, yeah, but like.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a-
I remember that. That was fun. But honestly, I would just only play the Game Boy when I was on the go, not at home.
I don't do handhelds!
The micro is a C though. I just ranked all three original GBA variants.
Okay, well.
Fuck
okay,
you.
moving on.
Okay, GameCube.
GameCube's S.
It's C.
What?
It's B. It's B.
What are you guys
Okay,
on? The
give it-
library's great.
No, no,
for
no,
games.
no, 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 no. I'm putting it at B because of one specific community that's basically ruined it for me.
You can't just like there's some
It's-
shit communities for like some of these later
It's
consoles.
C. I mean, there's.
Yes, but the
there-
Melee community is the one that really, really, really turns my stomach. The Smash
I mean,
Melee
that was mine
community.
too, but like
Is it because of the people in the UC in number 9?
Yes, they're partially at fault in that. Granted, they were the first friends I made at college, but and the GameCube is not bad. Like, it's a good system. The controller's a bit back-assed, but other than that,
hey, like it just melts into your hand.
I can make a joke here. I can make a
C. I
joke
mean,
here, and you know I can make a joke here, and you know I'm not going to make the joke because it will get both of us demonetized.
Fair enough. We'll
it's-
move on. Dreamcast to C.
Well, what about the
Dreamcast is
N-Gauge?
A tier.
What about the N-Gauge?
Is the N-Gauge on here?
The Nokia
Oh, what?
N-Gauge. You literally were talking about how that you were gonna
Oh
shit
shit!
on it.
Yeah, I preemptively put that at the bottom of F tier.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, bottom of F tier, because it's like so shit. Nothing good came out of the N-Gauge.
Okay, so Dreamcast, easy S for me.
It's not quite S. It's like
It's ass.
no, it's
It's
not.
It's ass. Remember the meme with Oogie Boogie? Come on, you know Oogie Boogie.
I do
You
know
know,
Oogie
you
Boogie,
know what I
but
want?
Come on. We were able to get the Dreamcast to fit in every single fucking theme.
Okay,
Sorry,
this
I'm
is
so-
true,
I'm-
but like
Nick.
there's like really no reason to go to a Dreamcast in particular, and the controls.
Oh yes, there is.
Yeah.
Oogie Boogie's the reason.
To be honest, the Dreamcast has some really good games, but it
It's an
doesn't
easy S
quite
for me.
crack that.
It's an
It doesn't
easy,
quite
easy
crack
S.
Yeah,
Oh, it
the-
sure
I
does.
do have-
You know, I unironically carried around a VMU for a pocket watch.
It does have the best Sonic game, Sonic Adventure. I'll give it
It
that.
it
That's one of my
does,
favorite
it does,
Sonic games.
and the compilations for the Sonic Genesis, for the Sega Genesis games are second to the Sega Saturn. It's the Dreamcast is an easy S tier. Like I love the Dreamcast. I
Honestly,
passionately
if
love
only-
it.
if only- I put it in A tier. It's not quite S, but it's still one of my favorites.
I
I'd
put
say
it-
it's
putting-
high A.
Here's
I'm
the
putting
thing.
it in
I
B.
would rank it the Dreamcast higher than the PS2. Really, I do.
Oh, God.
It's
Wow.
better because I love it that much. Every game I've touched on that thing has just been pure sex for me. It's amazing. I love the Dreamcast. It's got the best bullet hells. It's got one of the best racing games. It's got fantastic platformers. It's Choo Choo Rocket, great puzzle game. You know, like I just like the Dreamcast a lot.
Also Seaman. You know, the one that was narrated by.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that one.
That's a good one. Hey, what's
Hey,
wrong with
hey,
that one?
no- Hey, we'll go. Hey, Xbox 360's S tier.
That's too
Yeah, easy S tier.
Easy S tier. I'm behind like the PS2, but it's like S tier.
Nintendo DS.
Okay, I have a lot to go through a bunch of these because this was my.
Are you gonna rank every single fucking individual model? Please, just
I'm
keep
not
it to 3.
I'm not ranking the XL. Nobody gives a shit about the XL.
I give a shit about the XL, because that's all I
XL
had.
is literally-
I put the
The
DS
XL
in
is just
three.
larger.
I put it in B tier.
Alright,
DS
the original B.
The original DS is a C tier for me.
It's easy B. Like that's like one of the.
Yes,
me,
but the 3DS and DSi exists.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the original. DS is a B tier in my mind, just because it still has like a lot of functionality.
The
but
original Nintendo
the-
DS and DS Lite are a B tier.
The DS Lite is S tier in my eyes, just because
What?
like, you have.
They're the same thing!
No, they're
It's
not,
the same
because-
fucking thing, Justin! It's the difference between the DS and the DS Lite is one's thicker and makes your game escape a little bit more! That's the only difference!
Okay, it's mostly nostalgia.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna make a change in my tier list. I'm gonna put the SP in S tier because I realize I do have a lot. It's one of my favorite handhelds, so that does it in S tier.
But, okay, yeah. By that logic, I should put the original DS in A tier. I just kind of like the DS's model a lot better. It can still do the GBA.
You can
stuff.
have a favorite model, but it's just a variant. That's all it fucking
It
is.
is, but like I don't know why. It just actually no. I'm gonna remove the original DS by that logic then.
Yeah. I feel like.
But
I
the
feel like-
DSi,
The
I'll
DSi.
put it like I. I'll put it like A.
It's gonna be in B for me.
You'd rank it above the DS.
Because it is just one step above the DS in terms of library of games, and it has a web browser.
Yeah, but it loses the GBA port.
Yeah, but I have a Game Boy Advance with a Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Advance plugged into
Yeah,
a GameCube, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah, but it's easier if you can just go through the GBA and just have
Yes,
the two of them in
But
one.
the issue with the DS is it doesn't play original Game Boy games. It can only play GBA games. And for that reason, I would buy a GBA and then just get a Nintendo 3DS and then have, with two consoles, just two handhelds, cover literally 100% of the handheld library up to the Switch.
Yeah, that is fair. But I still think like just the ability, because like there's really not a lot of reason to go back to the
I
original
will
Game
say,
Boy.
you can't really play Guitar Hero on the DS. You can't. That's
yeah,
the
but
only
there's
thing.
like a million other ways to play Guitar Hero.
Yeah, infinitely better ways too.
Alright, where would you put the Wii?
I put that
A
in an
tier.
A tier.
A, yeah.
Yeah, but A tier.
There's some disqualifying flaws that don't put it in S tier, but like it's really
The
high.
game
Here we
had-
go. Here we go. This is it. This is where people are gonna get mad again.
Oh, where are we now? PS3. That's like
Deep.
it's
I
not
put it in
D.
the-
It's like
It's always.
B.
It's
It's
totally a D.
The lineup still good, but it's
The lineup pissed me off.
Look, come on, the exclusives are great for the PS3.
No, they weren't.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up
I
the.
agree. They had some good exclusives. I put it.
No,
in D tier.
okay.
I feel like
Here's the
beginning
thing.
PS3
Here's the
is
thing.
a lot different than late PS3.
I don't know why.
Oh, if
come
we're
on.
here's the thing. Beginning PS3 was fantastic. We could say that right now, right?
No,
But-
no, that's
it
when all
was.
the issues came up. That's when
No,
all the issues came.
But the original PS3, if you can find a mint one that worked perfectly, was fantastic. You have PS2 and PS1 backwards compatibility. You had Blu-ray. You had 3D, like actual real 3D,
New
where the
ones have
screen,
Blu-ray.
where where Street Fighter characters literally jump out of the screen, punch you in the nose, and then hop back in the screen 3D. But the issue is, the PS3 faltered very hard late game. Like late game, the exclusives were lackluster, like really lackluster. It has some of the worst rated Gran Turismo games out of the entire franchise. It has, you don't get a very good, you don't get good Crash Bandicoots, you don't get good Spyros, you don't get good Spy Coopers. All the basically the PS3 basically shifted the entire direction of the PlayStation console, the
Last of
PlayStation
Us.
series. Last of Us sucks ass.
Oh, come
Thank
on,
you.
It's good.
I
It's
agree.
good.
I agree with Justin. It's D tier for at least. Even I will acknowledge that.
It's
And like
just
the Uncharted
I
3,
bought a
Little
PS3
Big Planet 2
in 2009. I owned it. I still have it, and I just didn't enjoy any of the games. I really didn't.
Infamous.
If I were to choose between PS2 and PS3, PS2 is going to be my go-to.
Oh well, yeah, that's.
The
Obviously,
PS2
yeah.
is way more iconic. The PS3 just faltered a lot,
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely the worst Sony console. But it's
It is.
definitely-
It's definitely down there. Yeah, I'd say that the
Yeah.
PS3 is
But
definitely the
it's
worst.
not quite D. It's not quite D.
It's
like
D.
because like the lineup too. It's like sharing some of the really good Xbox 360 games from one, and the exclusives are definitely really good too on it. The
There
controllers-
isn't that, but the exclusives for a
Very
lot of those
powerful.
games were the least heavy-hitting exclusives for out of all the PlayStations. The exclusive
okay.
library is the weakest.
Uncharted.
It's also on the PS4.
I mean, it's where it really started out, though.
I'll move it up to a C, but that's the best you're gonna get me to do.
Okay, that's all we need.
Alright, next.
Next is I've started.
By the way, that was the second console I was biased against, because I got scammed at GameStop, because they sold me a second model PS3 instead of the first model, and they told me it would work with PS2 and PS1 games, and I ended up having to sell all my entire PS2 collection. There was like 80 games and a mint console for like $15. I'm still pissed about that 15 years later.
Okay, I mean that one's fair. That one's.
That's why I put it at D.
Yeah, the
PSP is it's C tier for me.
It is C.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some people would rank it like A, but I don't know. I never really.
It
bothered with
has the
PSP.
weird UMD discs, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I had a friend of mine I only knew one person in my high school that had a PSP. Because remember, I was in high school when the PSP was relevant.
Yeah, I mean I kind of like it.
It's got
But I'll
decent
put it in
games,
C.
but it's such a niche console.
Yeah, the problem is like it got decent games, but there was like really no support for it. Like the guy just. Like
Alright,
just
well,
Sony never
next.
like this is when Sony was trying. Actually, I feel like that retroactively makes the PS3 worse because the PSP could have been great, but they were focusing so hard on the console that was beginning to
Did you?
backwater.
Did you guys know? Did you guys hear that it recently was revealed that the PS3 and the PS Vita use the exact same dev kit,
Damn.
and that you could actually play PS Vita games on a heavily modified PS3?
Why?
Okay, Gizmondo. F.
Get F. Yeah, F.
F. F.
It's better than the
Google,
N-Gage.
Google Stadia. D.
F. No, it's F for me.
It's D.
It's an abomination. It's an abomination. How can you put it in D? To me, it was an
Because the controller
abomination.
isn't that bad, actually.
I think we skipped over. Wait, where's Stadia? I can't find Stadia now.
I have never seen. Doesn't think I played it. I was not in person. The whole game
Oh,
community.
yeah, I think
wants
you
this
guys
thing
jumped.
abolished.
Hey, Danny, you want to look at my stream?
Google Stadia
looking
is
at
like
YouTube.
high F.
Danny,
Just like-
look at my
just
stream
like-
right now.
I am looking at your stream.
What's this in my
On
hand?
YouTube one. Hold on, hold on.
Remember the time I bought Google Stadia for my ex-girlfriend?
Wait, why do you have a? Why do you own a Stadia?
Because it was free. It was
Yeah.
free with, if you had YouTube Premium for a full year, you got Google Stadia for free. With a free Chromecast Ultra. And I really like my Chromecast Ultra.
Okay,
And
hear me out. Though.
The Stadia
That's
controller
kind of like an
is...
indication that nobody wants it, so they're just gonna say fuck it. Let's.
I
just
will say
throw it in
this,
it.
the Stadia controller is a fantastic controller for my PC. I use it all the time on
It
my
is a
PC.
nice controller.
It's a very
It is a
nice
nice
controller. And that's why I'm putting it at D, because the controller is actually not half bad.
It is a nice controller, but I feel like it doesn't save it.
Sorry,
It
it's
doesn't
still up.
save it from being... It's the controller puts it at D.
I-
But it is
I still-
horrible.
It is horrible. It's like F, but it's better than all the other F tiers.
Anyways,
Alright, so are we on the Xbox One now?
the Xbox One, I'm
D.
putting
It's-
that at
it's
B.
D.
No,
It's B.
Xbox One is like C.
It's
because
B.
It's kind of
the, I own
The thing
an
is though
Xbox
it's C
One.
because it's kind of a similar situation where like.
Did you
the
say
launch-
D, Danny?
No,
He
it's
said
C.
D.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wait,
B.
did he
No,
say-
C. I put it in C too.
Okay, I'm saying C because it's kind of the same situation as the PS3 where it's like it started it's a fine console but it was like
No, but it's aged a lot better
fumbling.
because even right now the Xbox One has a very healthy library of games. Because remember, Game Pass started on the Xbox One, and
Yeah,
Game Pass right now is the best bang for the buck when it comes to getting into gaming.
Actually, yeah, no, I'll put it in B, but you have to admit the launch and then
Oh, the
there's
launch
some
was
parts of
horrible.
it that-
The launch
Yeah.
is horrible.
The launch was horrible, and like there's some parts of it that are still kind
But
of iffy.
It's aged very well. It did redeem
It's
itself.
aged well, so yeah, I'll put it in B above like the Dreamcast, above the Dreamcast.
How dare you?
Hey, I just wasn't impressed by the Dreamcast, man.
All right, Xbox Series, Xbox. Oh no, it's Xbox One X. Never mind. Nintendo 3DS line.
Okay,
3DS.
so hear me out. I'm gonna put.
Are we doing the 3DS, or are we ranking? I'm ranking the 3DS and new 3DS separate.
I'm gonna rank them around the same position because they're really the new 3DS didn't add much in my eyes. Like a few games, but like
Yeah,
They really
I would
want
say the
anything to go.
3DS is an A, and the new 3DS is an S.
yeah, the 3DS in my mind is.
Which, by the way,
Rob-
scales linearly with the thing. Okay, it's it means DS is B. It does scale linearly. C, B, A, D. The DS lineup did scale linearly. Just so I can
Right.
distinguish that. That's the only reason I ranked it that way.
I have some bias for this one. Like 3DS is A. That's not what the bias is. But the 2DS, like the fucking brick, in my opinion, is absolutely a shit model.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, so like this is bias kicking in, but that's fucking D because mine fucking broke in my backpack.
Oh, I remember that. I
Like,
remember you
I
telling me
still
about
have-
that.
Yeah, I still have the broken one. Like, it's just like unplayable. Like there was scratches fucking everywhere. The thumbstick sucks.
Yeah, no, but the 3DS, I still have my 3DS XL. It's a nice system. I quite like it. I use it for all my DS gaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in S. I think like the DS Lite is better, but that's mostly nostalgia talking. But the 3DS does still have like the good lineup and stuff. So.
Nintendo Switch, S tier.
Okay, hear me out.
I put
It's-
A tier.
I love the Nintendo Switch, but it's an A. I can't give it S tier because like Joy-Con problems.
Oh,
Yeah,
not
I
mine.
do.
You've seen my Switch, Justin. You've seen
Yeah,
it. You know I don't have that problem.
Yeah, but the Wi-Fi issues still persist.
Oh, I
It's
don't
hard to
really
get-
have a Wi-Fi issue. I've never had Wi-Fi issues with my Switch.
Have you ever dealt with Nintendo Switch Online?
Yes. I play Mario Kart Switch online all the time.
That's the one thing that works. Like if you play Smash Bros, it's shit. If you play Splatoon,
I don't
it's
like Smash, and Splatoon works fine.
like the online shit. Like you can pay for your buck for the library. It's great. I love
It's
it, but
a
I
great
feel
game.
like Joy-Con drift is too much of an issue where you have to replace.
Yeah, Joy-Con gate was a problem. It is, but
Yeah, I
so
feel like
what-
that disqualifies it from S.
here's the thing: we put the 360 in S, and it had the Rug Ring of Death.
That is a good point, actually. Yeah, because at least the Switch, like the console, doesn't brick in that case.
Yes.
So yeah, you know what? Just for how much enjoyment I've gotten out of it, I'm putting it in S.
Yeah, like it's been a fun system. I really enjoyed my Switch. I'm glad I got for the price I paid for it and the amount of luck I've had with it. It's been fantastic.
That is fair. And plus, the lineup is great because it has like a
S
lot
tier.
of the really good heavy hit.
It's
Yeah,
got
it's
all
S
the
tier.
classics. It's got all the good. It's got all the nice classics that we all love. It's got. I mean, it's basically when Nintendo marketed it as a best of Nintendo, it really is. With both old and new, it's got all the best classic Nintendo stuff that we like. It's got all the new stuff that we as Nintendo fanboys like. It's got everything. It's the definitive Nintendo console.
Yeah, that is fair. Plus, it really gets like that nerd in me that likes the handheld thing, but like the handheld that you can turn into a console if you really wanted to like bring it somewhere.
It was been the first console. It's the first handheld I've actually dailied. Actually,
That
it was
is-
the DSi was
I mean,
the
you
first,
mainly
but
played in whatchamacallit, docked mode. So
I do
like,
mainly play it on dock mode, but I take it with me to Video Game Club every time, and I play it all the time.
Okay, yeah, I feel
Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99 out of left field. All right, that. Remember when Tetris 91? Remember when Tetris 99 won E3?
Well, yeah, because that's just.
Remember when Tetris 99 was like low-key the best battle royale game ever? Just out of left field. It's like,
Still is in my
like
eyes.
everybody was like, "Oh, we're gonna make this battle better." And you know what Nintendo's like? We're gonna release Tetris as a battle royale game. It's gonna be free to play. And they literally like a low-key announcement at E3, and it just like everybody lost their shit and freaking went right on board.
Yeah.
And then they did it again with Pac-Man. Oh man, I love that. The Switch is like the little scrappy console that could. You know, it has Game Boy vibes.
And I kind of did something premature with one of the Gen 8s. So what's the next console?
Wii U.
Okay, the Wii U is D. It's a
it's
Netflix
D.
machine and nothing more.
It's a B
Oh,
tier
yeah.
system for me.
What?
It's B.
Half the games are shit on that console.
I really
The Wii
enjoy.
U really has no reason to go back to it. Like it has
Here's the
Nintendo
thing.
Land. That's it.
When I will be buying a Wii U at some point, just so I can have a Wii with HD output. It's the same
That is
reason.
actually a fair point, but
You know, and I actually really like the gamepad. I low-key really like the gamepad.
I do too. But I like it, but you have to acknowledge that it's basically
Yeah.
just Wii plus gamepad and HDMI.
All right, it's D. It's D.
Like
It's-
it's like the Wii was like a good. It's essentially like you get high on the Wii and the Wii U's the hangover.
I will admit I was very confused when the Wii U came out. I was very confused. Like when the Wii U was launched, I was sitting in front of my scrappy CRT on my Wii, going, "What is this? Is just this like an upgrade? Do I just buy an accessory to make my Wii a Wii U?
Yeah.
What do I do?" And then I later learned out a couple years later. It took me a couple years to find out because internet YouTube was not a thing. That the Wii U was a separate platform.
Wait, it was in 2013. Yeah,
It was
that
in
2013.
2012.
Yeah, YouTube was still a thing then. Gangnam Style was out.
No. You don't understand. Like, gaming journalism was not a thing on YouTube. The
Oh,
biggest,
okay, yeah.
the best YouTube channels were Smosh, for fuck's sake. Smosh was still king of YouTube then.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that on. I mean, Minecraft YouTube was popular.
Minecraft YouTube in 2012 was, like, in its infancy. Compared to now.
But, well, actually, no, it was in like its peak around like Sky Does Minecraft, and now it's just sort of like the natural end phase.
But either way, the Wii U, I do like it. It's got a solid library of games that I like to go back to occasionally. I'd want to go back to occasionally. It's got HDMI output. It's a more practical version of the Wii for me.
It is a more practical version of the Wii.
Plus, you can jailbreak it and do a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, but you can also jailbreak the Wii for that crazy shit too. Like
Yes, but you can
It's
do
the
that
Wii-
and a little bit more on the Wii U.
it's a actually the HDMI port is a really big plus. So I'm gonna put the Wii a little
Plus,
bit further
LAN.
down in retrospective.
LAN.
But I'm
It's
gonna
got
put the
it's
Wii
got
U
la-
up.
it's got a LAN port on it. It's got a LAN port on it. I think
Yeah,
the Wii.
that's-
Yeah, but still, it's still.
You're
it's
not
still
really
D.
playing the Wii U for the banging internet. I guess
that's,
it's
that's
Netflix.
fair.
You've convinced me it's C tier though.
It's D. I still keep it in D. Sorry.
It's B for me. It's B.
I like
Nah,
it, but like
I really
way
like
too
it.
high.
I really like the
but
Wii U.
You have to
It-
acknowledge
it's-
that it's like
it
the
holds a
Wii's
special
hangover.
place in my heart, and I'll admit that it's just a shitty bigger brother of the Wii. But when I get a
still stand
Wii
by
U, the Wii is my original OG Wii from 06 is going to be going in storage permanently if
But
I
the
get a
thing
Wii
is
U.
about the Wii, like the Wii you can turn into a GameCube, which is automatically a huge plus. But
Yes, but you can't play Game Boy Advance games on a Wii, can you? You can on
you
the
can play them
GameCube.
you can play that on a DS.
We're going back into this shit, huh? You can play original You can play original Game Boy games on a GameCube.
Yeah, but do you really want to play?
I don't like handhelds. Now we're back at this.
We should probably just move on before we go down that rabbit hole into the PS4. Wait, wait. What's next on the list?
Ouya.
Oh, okay.
F.
So, for my tier list, you can check this on Discord, but I have, there's the F tiers, and then below the F tiers, I have just a tier that's called Ouya Moment. And it's just the Ouya.
It is
Like-
an F tier system. I've actually
like
had
the wor-
the unfortunate displeasure of playing on a Ouya. The controller
It's
was
the-
ass. It was like 30 FPS, 720p garbage.
I don't know what.
It's the
I've
worst
I've
fucking
only-
console ever made in my eyes.
I've only seen
but
it
it is
once,
bad.
and all I have to say, it's F. Yeah, I've only seen it once.
It's
and
F.
all
It's
'Cause,
F.
here's the thing, though.
When
This thing
I
was
have
Kickstarter.
one friend that owns an Ouya, and when we went to play it, he was like, "All right, I just gotta get the duster out," and he cleaned off like a solid 2 inches layer of dust on top of the thing, and then we were able to get it to work.
Here's the thing, though, that makes the Ouya a special piece of shit.
Special
was-
piece of shit.
It was a Kickstarter project. People got scammed in the creation of this, and then they got scammed when it was sold to them. It's
mean-
a double whammy.
Yeah,
How many games did this thing had?
couple
But not-
dozen.
It was made to play mobile games. I want that to sink in.
Not the first. It's not the only console on this list that'll do that.
That is
Alright,
fair.
yeah,
But
fuck.
this is what it was known for. But I do
Alright,
have to
let's
ask
look.
now, what would be your worst console?
My worst console. I will. You know what? We'll go through the worst when we get to the end. We'll have a final discussion at the end.
Yeah, I'm keeping it at Ouya because I've already committed to that.
I'm keeping mine to like a toss up between the CDI and the 3DM.
Come on,
Okay.
3DO is not that bad.
3DO isn't that
Or
bad.
or the Jaguar CD.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, no, both of those are bad.
Okay,
Sorry.
next on the
Oh,
list is the Neo Geo X. I'm gonna put that at D tier.
Yeah, it's D tier. It's basically trying to do what DS is doing, but or the PSP.
It's literally
it's-
just a rehash portable version of the original Neo Geo.
Yeah.
It's
And it's, like,
literally
not-
just that.
So
And-
imagine the Neo Geo, but it's like with shit age.
Yeah. And it's
I'm gonna-
literally got the exact same library as the original Neo Geo too.
I'm gonna put it above the 2DS on my scale just because of the bias that I will acknowledge up front.
I would say the worst one.
Did
too bad it's not on
we
this tier list.
rank the
I-
PS4 yet? Are we finally
no.
at the PlayStation 4?
Yeah, but there's a lot of weird consoles that they have in the Gen 8.
The PS4 I put in B tier.
Yeah, that's a healthy assessment. I'd say B
B
tier.
tier's B tier's healthy too.
Are we
I
ranking the
want to put it-
PlayStation TV, or are we just gonna acknowledge that's literally just a streaming thing that connects to your PS4? Because that's all it really does.
No, don't
It's
even
an
look.
accessory for your PS4.
But, all right.
I mean, part of me wants to put the
this-
PS4 in like low A, but
I'll put it in A, only for the VR.
Okay, I'll put
Because
it
I
on
like the
list.
VR. The PlayStation VR is
I'm
the
thinking-
third best VR experience. Is the second best. It's the best VR experience you can buy. It's like a mid-tier VR experience.
You just went up saying it's the second, first best.
It's okay. What I mean by that is there's like 3 really good VR experiences that I've only enjoyed. There's only been 3 that I've really liked. The PSVR is my second favorite, and it's the best for like $500 range. Like if you had $500, you can get a PSVR and have a very good VR experience. If you had all the money in the world, you just buy the HTC Vive. That's the best VR headset I've ever used. Period. If you were poor and broke, you get a Quest 3. You get a Quest 2, and that's the third best.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which, by the way, the Quest isn't on here. VR headsets aren't on here, by the way.
I don't think they were looking for VR headsets because it's like really.
The Steam Deck's on there, though. Okay, anyways, moving on.
It's because this was made by a. This was made by a Valve fanboy.
By the way, a dishonorable mention would be the Hyperscan. That goes to.
We already said F! Moving on.
The Hyperscan is Vita's D tier.
The PlayStation Vita is C tier for me.
D or C?
Well,
C.
anyway,
It's respectable, but like it's the same problem with the PSP. Except this time.
I'm imagining that. I will share my tier list on the voice.
We're not done yet.
You're not done yet. We still have to do the Evercade handheld, whatever that is.
I did it right.
Oh,
Wait,
I'm
what?
skipping those. I'm skipping those. I've never even seen those before.
I kind of want to do some research on them, and I'll add them like post stream.
Series X is easy S tier for me.
Honestly,
Well,
like it's a bit premature,
Series-
but it is a
Series X.
premature S tier.
Oh no, it's C tier. I don't really care for it.
Oh, I love
Let's
my
see.
Series X. I do.
Yeah, I feel like
I'll
the
give it-
Series X is doing like all the right things the Xbox did with a lot less of the flaws.
It really is. It really is.
I give it C, but I mean I don't think it's terrible, but it hasn't proven itself yet to me.
Fair enough.
And
Get
the
Game
game,
Pass.
yeah,
The
Alright.
PS5, I'm going to be putting at. I'm skipping quite a few of them. I'm skipping the Playdate because I've never seen it. The Switch OLED
Yes.
is just a rehash. The Game & Watch is a re-release.
yeah. The PS5. What the fuck's the Playdate?
I don't know what the Playdate is. The PS5, I'm ranking at the same level as. I'm putting it at B tier.
Yeah, I feel like B tier is.
Do you remember my reaction to the PS5?
Yeah, no, because you were looking at it, and then like
What
my
the fuck
stream
was
was
that?
my stream was like 30 seconds ahead too, and you was waiting for the price to be named. But I'm 30 seconds ahead, so I have to like bite my tongue for 30 seconds to say they don't reveal the price.
I remember going, what the fuck is that? And just losing my mind. I remember the Series X. Remember when I said it was announced during the Game Awards, and I said they're gonna announce the new Xbox, and everybody thought I was gonna be dead wrong. And then it was announced like the first thing, and I think it's the second loudest I've ever screamed. The loudest time was actually, were you there when I was playing Mario Party at your apartment with like Charles and Josh and all those guys? And you and I were in a team.
Yeah.
And there was a spam game that you had to have me play. And I just screamed because I was in pain and agony from spamming so much because I thought Charles was out spamming me.
Yeah, I specifically remember this. No, now that you mention it like that.
Yeah, and I was just like, yes! And then Josh just looks at me going, what the fuck, man? You're a freak.
Yeah, no, the thing is though, like I think like a lot of those, it's not really how fast you spam; it's about the rate,
Yeah.
you do it.
Yeah, but my BPS is like 15. Back then it was
No,
like a
the
little
thing is,
lower,
like,
but
if you're going that fast, it's not going to comprehend it on some of that shit. Like,
but
you do
it
at a
did for
really-
me.
No, that was one of the things, but like it's not about the mash; it's about the It's
The
about
consistency.
the rhythm.
It's about the consistency.
Yeah.
But I had the rhythm. I had the consistency because I used to be a percussionist.
Fair enough.
And
Right.
I am still to this day, even though I'm considerably older than the majority of the people here, I can still button mash faster than anybody in the server.
Hilmer's still here.
Yes, but Hilmer can't out-button mash me.
Alright. The Panic console. I'm gonna look up Panic console.
Gaming PC, it's Windows. I mean, do we really want to rank it? I mean, I'll give it a rank of
because-
A.
Maybe,
I'll
I feel
give it
like,
an A
like,
rank.
yeah. You
It's too
can't really
general.
rank
I'm
it.
not buying
You
it.
really
Rank
can't
it.
rank it. You really can't. I'll give it an A because I play on my PC all the time. It's a cool platform, but it's I don't even want to rank it. But there are several others. Do we want to just knock them out real quick with the Nvidia Shield, the OnLive Cloud, and Steam Deck? Just all three, just go.
Steam Deck has promise, but like, there's not much on it, so I'll put it in A.
Yeah, Steam Deck is B for me right now because it's on the Titanium right now. I want to get a Steam Deck. In fact, when my Chromebook dies, that's gonna be my next laptop.
I'm gonna move the PS. I'm gonna move the Neo Geo Pocket down to C just to balance out the tier.
The Nvidia Shield I'm putting at a B as well. I hear it's one of the better streaming, like it's one of the best like cloud-based streaming services you can get. And the OnLive Cloud, which is the very first very first streaming gaming stick, is F.
Wait, Nvidia do what Google don't.
Nvidia Shield TV is actually not bad. I've played on an Nvidia Shield. They're pretty cool actually, and their codecs and NBanks are fairly decent.
Yeah, that's rare.
You know,
Heck.
for streaming, it's basically what you would want to do with a Wii U. Only it's decent. Only it's decent at streaming.
Oof. I'm gonna move. Some Game Watch. No, it doesn't.
Most of these, the rest of these I have left on my list, by the way, just for the viewers at home, is that these are either variants or systems I've never even touched. They're just variants or systems I've never touched, or they're unrateable. Like the gaming PC, we've all agreed, it's an easy, solid A rank. Given that if you have a decent game PC, you're gonna get a decent experience. There's gonna be a
Yeah.
big library of games. There's a lot of variety, and yeah, but it's so hard to rank because everybody's gonna have a different experience because every PC is built differently. Even laptops, they're all built differently, configured differently, and have different stuff installed.
So what's the one that you put in F tier out of those three? Is it like OnLive Cloud? Because
Yeah, I put the OnLive Cloud on F tier. I had a friend of mine that had an OnLive Cloud,
oh, God.
and we've used it, and it was,
No.
it was Ouya level bad.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but
No, but it is because they're literally the exact same thing. They're literally the exact same concept.
yeah,
It's
that's
a
fair,
mobile
but like,
game
the
stick.
OnLive Cloud isn't a Kickstarter scam.
No, but it's older and uses older hardware than the Ouya.
Ah, that's.
It's
fair. I mean,
inferior
in a way,
in every
that
way.
kind
The
of-
Ouya
in
is
a
more
way, that kinda
powerful.
makes in a way, that kind of makes the Ouya worse by comparison, if they're comparable.
They are comparable. They are comparable because the OnLive is like 2 or 3 years older. And has less games.
I'm still keeping Ouya in an Ouya moment just because it's kind of insulting.
Oh, yeah, but granted, yeah, but again, I'm keeping OnLive at F.
Yeah,
I've
no,
used
OnLive
it.
is an-
It's not good.
OnLive is an F2, but Ouya's in its own separate, the worst of the worst tier.
So,
What would you rank as the worst one now that we've gone through that?
what the worst system out of them is? Okay, so I have to think about that actually.
If it's not, if there's one that's really sticking out to you, that's the worst ever. That's not on the list. You can mention that.
I'm gonna give you 2 different answers if you're okay with that. One's a handheld,
Yeah.
one's a console.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
For my console, it's the Jaguar CD. It's
Yeah,
easily
yeah,
the
that's-
Jaguar CD. Even if the games are okay, I mean some of the games are okay, it's incredibly expensive. They're incredibly unreliable, and it, you know, do we need to make the obligatory joke that it looks like a toilet? I'm not going to, but.
Yeah,
And
that's
as for a handheld, I'd say the Nokia N-Gage.
Okay, yeah, that one's fair too.
Because with the Gizmondo and the Virtual Boy and the Tiger Gamecom, the Gizmondo, at least you can do something with them. The N-Gage, if you get an N-Gage for collectability reasons or playing games, it's literally a brick. Because you have to connect to the internet. And the services for N-Gage have been gone for literally 15, 20 years.
Fuck that, that's true. Like, I kind of feel like I should put the N-Gage now, by that argument, under the Ouya, because, like, the Ouya you could at least use.
Okay, so the N-Gage, you can play cartridge-based games, but you have to remove the back. You have to actually, like, take the back clip, like, the back casing off, like it's an old, like an older smartphone, where the replacement battery is and the SD card is, and you put the cartridge, and that's where the cartridges slot in. It's inside the cartridge slot for it's inside the phone.
I feel like that's kind of, I feel like that kind of makes it worse than the Ouya in a way.
I've been handhelds with an N-Gage. It's horrible. The buttons are mushy. Like the one I used had mushy buttons in an age where tactile buttons on a phone was like the feature.
Like it's trying to be a phone and a game console, and it's failing at both.
Yeah. The Gamecom is hilarious because it does. The one thing I will give the Gamecom is it is innovative in a way. You know, it's a DS like it's like a DS 5 years before DS was even a twinkle in the eye.
This is true.
You
like
know,
the CDI, at least it has like
the CDI has meme value. The Virtual Boy has meme value. Gizmondo, there are games. They're horrible, but there are games.
Like the Gizmondo doesn't have like a.
Ouya and OnLive Cloud
like
both are so obscurely weird that you could still probably throw a version of Android on both of those and do something with it. I don't know. At minimum, you could use the controller as a USB controller on your PC. At minimum, but by that argument, so is
Stadia. At
Stadia.
least has the good controller going for it.
And the Stadia's got a very nice controller.
Got the good controller going for it, and that's it. I'm going to look up some of these more obscure consoles. Like, I'm going to look up the Panic Playdate real quick, just to...
I'm not even going to bother. If they're so obscure that nobody in this Discord's even heard of them, would anybody care?
I mean, no,
if we didn't rank them?
Oh god, it has a fucking crank on it. You fucking crank.
Wait.
Device.
Now you got me curious.
Yeah. Playdate is a handheld console developed by Panic, as well as the buttons and a directional pad. It has 2 buttons.
Does this thing power it? Wait a minute. Does this thing got a built-in generator so that you can power it with the crank? If it is, that's immediately a C tier.
I don't know about you, man, but it has a built-in crank.
What's with the crank?
A 1-bit screen for display. It's kind of... what the fuck?
1-bit screen for display with a remote directional pad and a mechanical crank. What's the mechanical crank for?
I feel like that's how you power
Wait a minute.
it.
Read the 3rd paragraph on the
It
wiki.
has 4 gigabytes of flash storage. They put 4 gigabytes in this shit.
That's not bad if it's a toy.
I
Playdate uses
For
a
a
sharp
fucking
memory
crank
LCD.
console.
Wait, here we go. Sharp memory LCD display similar to e-paper displays. So the big thing's got basically the screen of an old Nokia from 2002.
I mean, like, I'm just gonna make it a separate tier and just name it funny, because my list is too.
There are accessories. One of them is a stereo dock that charges the speaker and it gives it speakers. You know,
I'm gonna add a row below D, and it's just
boy.
gonna says makes me laugh,
Well,
and it's gonna be
Nemeth, this was.
it's gonna be the
What's
Playdate.
what's the mechanical crank for?
And the CDI is gonna be in makes me laugh.
The CDI should never existed.
Yeah, but like
I
you at
want
least have
this to be the
YouTube-
only way you can turn it on is just like an old flashlight or something, or like an old telephone.
The Evercade does not look nearly as
CNET.
interesting, so.
CNET has a review.
I don't know. I don't want to crank my console.
Crank me off.
All right. What the hell is the
You know what
Evercade?
else is a abomination, but it's not on the list? The number. Jacob, you ever heard?
What's that? Okay, it says on the wiki that the hand crank is brilliant. What does that mean?
Council.
It has a fucking hand crank. I made a tier list for just the CDI and the Panic Playdate because.
Okay, but unironically, some of the games look kind of good. What's with the crank?
The crank. Like, I love how, like, this is a lot of, like, the mainstream consoles, and then they just have the fucking Playdate.
That's a crank. What the hell is it?
I made a tier just for the CDI.
That's all, folks.
I'd like to. If it charges it, then it's a. If it charges it, then it's a.
It's an easy B tier.
Yeah. I mean, I made a separate tier because you can't really rank it, but it makes me laugh.
I'll say have a good night, Nemeth.
Have a
You have
good
a good
night.
night. I'll post my final tier list in here. I made some changes.
I'll post it too on one of the channels, but yeah.
It has no cartridges, but it also has online connectivity. The
Wait,
Pocket
does that mean
feature a D-pad, 2 buttons, a speaker, a USB Type-C charging port, a headphone jack,
Imagine
a
a Game
microphone,
Boy, but
accelerator 2, and not many games to use as yet, and the crank. That's crank. That Playdate is entirely defined by its kooky crank. No game system has had a built-in crank before, has it? This thing pops out of the right edge, flips up, and spins smoothly. It feels like a fidget toy. It's soothing. I've cranked it absent-mindedly as I've stared out of my window, losing track of time as I contemplate. You know what this is? You know what this is for? It's for the autistic kids at the freaking special ed classroom.
Oh God! God damn it, man!
And many games use the crank as an extra analog control. It's an analog control to rewind time, to play back audio samples, to focus a camera and take pictures of birds, to stir portions, to stir a ship, to tilt a puzzle. It's not essential, but it's so charming. It's 100%, you know, it's going to be just distributed to all the rural grade schools in the entire country, to all the special ed classrooms, and the autistic kid's going to go, I want to play a game system, and they're going to be handed that.
That poor child.
But no, but the crank, man,
What if
the
it's
crank.
the poor kid's first console? Like, I just like to imagine just this like rural kid from fucking.
I'm gonna be.
Nebraska or some
There's gonna
shit.
be like a 10 or
That's
15 years
close.
from now. I'm gonna be going to an estate sale some store, and I'm gonna find that system, and that crank's gonna have a little bit of brown on it, and I'm not gonna know what that brown came from, and I'm gonna be too scared to touch it.
So, here's the thing. Like, imagine like you're like some kid in Nebraska, and you want like
Mommy, Daddy, I
Oh,
want a
you
game
want, like,
system. I want a Switch.
you want a DS, but they said we can't find the DS, so instead we got you the fucking Panic Playdates. It looks kind of like it.
Jesus
God.
Christ.
I mean, I kind of like this because it's like some dude's fucking like he did this just because he could.
It's a
not meant to
C.
do it.
It's easy a B. It's easily a B. Just from the crank.
It just exists for the purpose of existing because someone made it out of spite.
The games are enlisted with seasons, so you can only play like a certain number of games per season, and then it cycles out per season. So the library is non-linear. You have to fucking. The only way you can get the thing to get a library is if you literally jailbreak the fuck, which I'm sure you could. It looks like there is. When I looked at the wiki page, it mentioned a third-party community that was pretty dedicated.
Hang on, I'm changing my status to crank moment.
Dat crank though. I'm gonna change my stats to dat crank though.
Crank moment.
And nobody's gonna know what to do.
I'm not clearing it. The crank moment's gonna stay.
Here. Oop, I don't want to copy. Double copy. I don't. Shit.
Crank
User
moment.
setting. Oh, that's how.
I'm gonna end my stream real quick and boop. The certified crank classic.
Alright, I changed my stash to Dat Crank, though.
And I changed it to crank moment.
Hilmer, now you have to make a crank joke. And put it as your status on Discord.
Tilmer's still there?
Who knows?
Like, I haven't heard him. Like, I heard... So, like... You think he fell asleep at the wheel?
He's done that before.
I know, that's why I'm saying it. Like, if it was Danny, I'd say, oh, he's probably just getting a fucking, like... He's getting a fucking copy of AEW Revolution or some shit. Alright. Well, that was a fun street. I'm gonna hang up right here.
Alright, I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna be ending the stream myself, and,
Yeah, no, I ended my stream. It's just sort of like I have it still going to here.
okay. I'm gonna end the stream for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed that wonderful journey to the crank. We'll be back for another. We'll be back for another tier list, and we'll see if we can make another meme out of this. Later.
Yeah, later. Hopefully, I don't think we're gonna be able to beat the crank though.
We're not gonna. It's gonna be a while.